What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventurer 1994 here, and it is Tuesday, August 9th, 2022, and I want to give you guys a tropical update since I haven't done one since I left for Disney, and thankfully my cold's gone, and now I'm able to speak again and everything. I remember looking congested when I did that Isaiah's video a few days ago during its second anniversary when it was up here and it ripped through the northeast, bringing in all this heavy rain and a lot of damaging winds and caused all those widespread power outages. So let's get started with the tropical update. So after weeks between July and August, we now have a disturbance in the Atlantic at last, after all the Saharan dust has been taking out all these waves between July and August. And that's why there was nothing in the Atlantic when I left for Disney. Like, there were a lot of waves being taken out by the Saharan dust. Yeah, the Saharan dust in the Atlantic right now is what's causing all these waves to dissipate, and it's causing a lot of delays in the season. So apparently I have a feeling that this season may get pretty active, but it might get delayed like what happened in 2019, where we did not see a D name until the end of August when we had Dorian, which ripped through the Bahamas and in the southeast of the US. Yeah, Dorian destroyed the Bahamas badly. It was like the last Cat 5 hurricane in the Atlantic so far. And it moved out to sea, but it did bring a lot of heavy rainfall here. Yeah, so we might have a delay like that again. Like, we won't have a D name till like the end of August or something. And that disturbance in the Atlantic right now, yesterday it had a 40% chance in 5 days. Now it downgraded to 30% chance. And in 2 days it has a 20% chance. So now that it went from 40 to 30, I think the Saharan dust is taking over it again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It might be the Saharan dust, which is causing all these delays, and whatever wave is going over the Saharan dust right now in the Atlantic, it's total bust, because Saharan dust has dry air and hurricanes can't form over dry air. So it's causing all these waves to dissipate right now. So I won't be surprised if this disturbance vanishes. But if it does form and it becomes better organized and it gets away from all that dust, if it does, and if it becomes a tropical storm, we will have Tropical Storm Danielle. Now onto the Pacific. There are two disturbances in the Pacific right now, and Howard has strayed into a hurricane. Yeah, the main subject I wanted to go over was the Saharan dust. We've gone through 3 names in the Atlantic, and that was it. And we're waiting on Danielle if the Atlantic cooperates and all the Saharan dust dissipates soon. I even heard that Bermuda High is weakening. You know those highs in the Atlantic that sit over, like, off the coast of the East Coast? You know, during hurricane season, it's bad news actually, because a high pressure in the Atlantic during hurricane season, a lot of times it blocks hurricanes from leaving out to sea, and it allows landfall on the East Coast. Remember what happened with Sandy? There was like a huge high pressure block from blocking Sandy from moving out to sea, and it had to like impact the Northeast. I mean, we're entering a triple La Nina, and it's likely that New York could see a hurricane this year. I mean, look, I'm not saying it's definitely gonna happen, but it's not like it's off the table. We could see another blocking high soon. But right now, the high that's in the Atlantic is weakening right now. But it could form up again eventually. And we could see a hurricane make landfall if we see another blocking high pressure in the future. I mean, remember, we're also entering a triple La Nina, so La Ninas favor landfalling hurricanes on the East Coast, so it's definitely not off the table. So when the Saharan dust gets its act back together, we could see a lot more hurricanes. But there's still gonna be some delays right now due to all the dust, which is killing off all these waves. Yeah, there was a lot of hurricanes in the Pacific during my Disney trip. Like, we just saw Frank in Georgette, and now we're on to Howard, which is a hurricane. So the Pacific is still pretty active right now, and the Atlantic will become more active later on once all the Saharan dust clears off. So, but we'll see what happens. I will be keeping an eye on this, and I guess that's it. Bye.